This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Guardian Radio Today is brought to you by Bahamar and Print Masters.
And welcome to another edition of Guardian Radio Today, the October 14th, Tuesday, October 15th edition of Guardian Radio Today. My name is Dr. Cleveland W. Eneas III, also known as Kahun Anku Sarai. It is my pleasure to be here with you today on a rainy Tuesday. The rain has been on and off for the past few days, and the roads are not really, standing up too well. I pray that you guys are being safe on the road. Take your time, because they got some craters out there that are very unforgiving, and you don't wanna fall into one of them, right? A lot of things happened over the weekend. A lot of things in the dailies today. Last week, I had already kind of made up my mind what I wanted to talk about today. And it has something to do with the web shops and even around the reality of what we now see of one Sabas Bastian making his way into frontline politics, right? The show isn't so much about him, but more so about how we as a people disingenuous, even hypocritical, or we suffer from a form of cognitive dissonance. And cognitive dissonance simply means that you hold a belief so dear, so near to your heart that even in the midst of facts or realities that prove that your belief or what you feel to be true isn't true, you still hold on to it, right? So let me be clear about what I'm saying. Last week we saw in the headlines Sabas Bastian say that he was ready to serve or is ready to serve for the constituents of Fort Charlotte. I've had many conversations with people just in general about Sabas Bastian moving into frontline politics, and some people are excited about it. They say he's a potential MP that, he doesn't need to put, right? He has funds. He can get things done in his constituency, right? There are others who say that because he was a part of an industry that was illegal for so many years, he shouldn't necessarily even have an opportunity to sit in the House of Parliament, right? Which made me pause, right? Because obviously gaming is legal now, and of course, people will say, but the public or those who participated in the referendum, I think it's 2014 or 13, they voted no. They did not want to regularize web shops, right? So I talked to my friends. I'm not an avid numbers player. I'll play occasionally, just like I'll buy a lottery ticket, when I go to Florida, or I'll, buy a lottery scratch off, in the gas station, right? But I talked to some of my friends who are avid numbers players, and they said to me, well, we voted no, not because we against numbers, but because once they regulate this industry, the payouts ain't gonna be the same. You can't buy any number. You can't put a certain amount of money on any one number. Like, it can cramp our style. the web shops. We against the regulations. This is what some of the people I've spoken to have said. Of course, I have other friends who, for religious reasons, they were nothing to do with it. Right? I respect everybody's point of view. I say all of this to say that there's obviously a bigger picture here that I want to look at, right? When we look at what is deemed as legal versus what is illegal, right? Just a little history lesson, right? So gambling was made illegal for Bahamian citizens and residents as early as the first anti-gambling law in 1901. All right? And let me just reference where I'm reading from, right? This is a Tribune article that I found because I wanted to get some more insight into this whole idea of, well, why can foreigners or tourists come into this country and they can gamble, but we can't, right? So the Tribune out of Larry Smith, it was entitled A Tough Call. This was August 8th, 2012, right? But he laid out some of these points that I'm sharing with you today. Because, again, I find that sometimes the discussion around this issue is disingenuous, right? So gambling was made illegal for Bahamian citizens and residents as early as the first anti-gambling law in 1901. And the ban continued under the Lotteries and Gaming Act of 1969. All of this before we became an independent nation, right? While a 2014 Gaming Act modernized regulations for the industry, the long-standing prohibition on locals in casinos remains in effect. Now, that always bothered me because we have these casinos and these major hotels, right? But in places like, I want to say it's Dubai, or somewhere in that area of the world, where they really don't believe in gambling, like they have a version of Atlantis with no casino. Okay, so like they really don't play that. They don't want no kind of gambling in their country, which I respect. If you say you don't believe it, then no one should be able to gamble, right? If we have a moral issue with gambling in this country, just move all the casinos. You understand what I'm saying? The fact that there were a group of men or a group of people a way to create an economy for themselves in a society or in a system that really wasn't built for us. We are a former colony, and in many ways, we still are a colony, okay? And so the reality of how we make money in this country, you know, it can't just be by political favors. It just can't be by running drugs or finding a way. All of these aspects of what we're calling immorality, a lot of it has to do with economics, okay? And the reality is when you see these big drug busts, you had a big drug bust, I think in Cat Island the other day and another one somewhere else. This is not a thirst for cocaine that we have in this country. It's people trying to actually find a way into an economy, trying to find a way to make money. All right? The so-called numbers boys were able to do that so well that the government just had to throw their hands up and say, okay, we can reg you. All right? And there are all types of other aspects to this conversation I'm not even going to get into today, you know, because it really is a situation where we as a people have to be honest with ourselves, right? If we are in a country where we, the inhabitants of this country, we can't go into the major hotels where these major casinos are, we can't gamble. Be okay with that. We talking about the moral decay of gambling while we have this, they call it a dual. Let me read some more of what I found, right? This idea of having the casinos in your country, but your citizens not being able to utilize them, it simply means you can make money off of it, but you could kind of wash your hands clean of saying that you actually gamble, right? So 1901, the first anti-gambling law was passed. The 1920s, even as the first opened, they catered exclusively to American and other foreign tourists. So this is from the 1920s. All right, 1939, an amendment allowed for government-granted exemptions to the gambling ban, but these explicitly banned Bahamian residents and employees from playing. So it's okay for us to gamble at the carnival, right? We could play over and under. But we can't go into these major hotels and we can't gamble in there. Again, duplicitous, disingenuous at best, right? In 1969, you had the Lotteries and Gaming Act was passed, establishing the Gaming Board. This law continued the ban on Bahamians gambling in casinos. So that at every turn, we seem to not want to allow Bahamians to sit alongside the guests that come into this country and gamble with them. The reasoning, they say, the ban was supported by powerful religious groups who saw it as a moral necessity. This created a peculiar dual system where casinos were legal for tourists but illegal for locals. Okay? So they're powerful religious groups. Yeah? And we could have a religious conversation because we've had the conversation before, like what's illegal, especially when churches have raffles and churches play bingo and they do gamble in their own way, right? But I say all this because it all falls back now on a Bahamian who is not only a part of the numbers industry but has 20 plus other businesses. But I heard people saying he shouldn't have an opportunity to be a part of, and I don't know Sabas. I've never met him. I ain't part of nothing he doing. He ain't paying me to say nothing. So I'm just telling you, I'm looking at things from this perspective based on how colonized or how caged our minds are when it comes to each other, right? Because there are families that made money off of rum running in this country that have done politically well, very well. And again, I'm not against them. I'm not against them either. And I ain't, trying to beat nobody up. I'm just trying to figure out where are we really standing on morality, or are we going to play this dual system where casinos are illegal for us but legal for tourists? We can make money off of it. We could work in the casino to pay our tithes, but we can't gamble in the casino. And some people will say, yeah, but from the days of the hobby horse, people were abusing their funds and not taking it home to their families. And so I'm not saying, people should go out there and gamble either. I'm saying it's happening, right? Have we had politicians that had shares in liquor stores? Huh? Do we have people in the House of Parliament that have shares in liquor stores? Because liquor is, if we want to morally look at the decay of the society, a very, very much more than gambling. We have alcoholics, functioning alcoholics, right? If we talk about, the types of foods we are allowing into this country and how it's causing all of these different cancers, right? Like, where do we draw the line, right? 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, of course, in the family of violence, 242-300-5720. Our text line powered by BTC, 422-4796. Of course, standard rates do apply. You're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com, also on Cable Bahamas 969, or BTC Flow Channel 612. Let's jump right to the phone lines here on Guardian Radio today. Obviously, this is a hot button topic, which is what I wanted it to be. So let's jump right into the phone lines and we'll get to the text. Go ahead, caller. You're live here on Guardian Radio today.
Yes, Uncle. How you doing? It's Alan Johnson.
My brother, how you doing?
I'm okay.
Good.
Let me first say that most of the gaming are fallacious at best, because
Right.
we kind of use the thing like we say, some people get gun running, some people get alcohol running, all of those different things. But when you compare apples to apples, I didn't think there was a law to exclude people away from gun running or from running or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
It was just an illegal act. In the same way, when we had these numbers houses, it was an illegal act.
Mm-hmm.
There was no thing to say somebody was excluding something. But when we moved to the legalization or what you said, regulation of these so-called things, we then create an exclusionary policy
Right.
for a select few, which is a different argument
Mm-hmm.
concerning what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back to what you've been reading,
Mm-hmm.
one of the things of the earlier laws before 1969 and subsequently 1973,
Mm-hmm.
even in then, each one of those said Bahamian residents. The current Gaming Act does not prohibit Bahamians from gambling in casinos.
Mm.
It prohibits anybody in the Bahamas, Bahamians or not, that is ordinary resident in the Bahamas,
Right.
from gaming,
Right.
whether it be foreigners or Bahamians.
Mm-hmm.
I know Bahamians who don't live here, they live in the U.S. and other places, even TCI, who gambles in the casino.
Yeah,
when
but
they
see,
come here.
Alan, but see, we don't be disingenuous. Yes, that's true. I've read that too, and I'm well aware that it's residents, right? But this affects the majority of Bahamians more than it does the residents. I'm speaking on behalf of the Bahamian people.
No, but I'm saying is that we can't fix that. We don't correctly identify the problem.
Mhm.
So people argued about as if the Bahamians were being discriminated against. Now,
But Bahamians are being discriminated against.
no, you can't be. Let me tell you why we can't.
Okay, you could say, hold on, you could say Bahamians aren't only being discriminated against. I'm with you on that.
No, I'm
But
talking about-
Bahamians
no, I'm-
are being discriminated against.
No, I'm talking about from the legal aspect. From
Even
constitutional-
when you legally look at it, right? If you're telling me that if you are resident in the Bahamas, which doesn't only mean you're a Bahamian, it means, like you said, you could be here for over 6 months. The majority of the people that are resident in the Bahamas, guess what? They're Bahamians.
Yeah, but see, I'm saying that, but we now then appeal to emotionalism. So I believe that when you clearly state a problem, then you can address the problem.
Okay,
And
so
so-
having clearly stated the problem, right? Having clearly stated the problem that it's not only Bahamians. Now what?
No, but let me. My point is this: if you read the law further,
Mm-hmm.
there needs to be no modification of it. It gives the minister the authority by virtually just getting up in 5 minutes and say, "Y'all all can gamble."
Good. That's what we're talking about.
No,
That's
but
exactly what we're talking about.
See, but what I'm saying is that the reason I'm speaking to those
Because
not just
because
to
the
you.
minister has to say you could gamble at Carnival. When the Carnival comes in town, you could go play over and under.
No, I'm talking about just making a broad statement to give people the right to game. The reason I'm saying is that we have so many people who talk as if though it's constitutional and this is preventing us and whatever. I'm saying to people who's listening to me, the Minister of Tourism today can grant Bahamians unconditional right to go gamble in casinos.
Right. Right.
Today.
So
No
so
new additional laws need to be passed.
I don't disagree with you.
Okay,
My
right.
only
So-
the only thing is, why wouldn't he?
See, that's what I'm saying, but that becomes a different question.
But that's really ultimately that's the context of this show, right? Is our disingenuous behavior towards this reality, right?
The reason I'm speaking to you in this is this.
Yeah.
I've listened for 15 years.
Right.
And I was one of the major opponents against the legitimization of casinos for the exclusion of Bahamians.
Mm-hmm.
And I made an argument then, and I'll make the argument now.
Mm-hmm.
Then I said that we were excluding Bahamians
Right.
from a $350 billion industry
Right.
that extended beyond the concept of number shop. Here's what happens what we did in 2014 or whatever we did the law.
Mm-hmm.
The Bahamas was basically had the opportunity to become a gaming jurisdiction. And instead of expanding it for all Bahamians, we regressed to what is called proximity gaming. So you took away the potential from international gaming and made it a proximity gaming so that you can give a select group of people
Yeah.
who may not have qualified for the normal international gaming license because of their activities in the business. In the, what was
But you
gaming
see,
legal.
I'm so happy you saying it. But you see like okay, the fact that it was illegal or it was made illegal, and there were people who pushed the boundaries, all right, and so far as they were in an illegal industry, but then they were then able to regulate, they're not seen as illegal anymore.
But see,
right?
Don't frame it like that. I'm saying to you.
You can't tell me how to frame it.
no, I'm saying to no. You saying I'm saying. I'm not saying.
But go ahead.
No, but you are. I'm saying to this. I had no problem in them giving them proximity gaming.
Right.
I had a problem with them shutting me out.
Right.
From the gaming industry.
Right.
See,
So this paper, this headline about 25 more years moratorium, you definitely got an issue with that.
It's garbage juice because let me explain to you something.
Mm-hmm. And I got to run to the phone lines. Go ahead. Quickly.
Not too long. I'm saying just for the point, right?
Yeah.
The multi-slot for where all of these guys get their services from.
Yeah.
Multislot.com. There's no innovation or anything. They bought a white label service.
Mm-hmm.
I have the same ability to buy the white label service.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is I can go and have claim to an international gaming platform rather than a proxy thing located in the Bahamas, for which then there was 1 billion people gambling. Today is 2 billion people. Then it was $350 billion a year. Today it's almost $1 trillion a year, not counting the lottery. That I could have went to multi-slot and paid them the same licensing fee of a couple $100 a month. And the same thing with thousands of other behemoths.
And be in the business.
There's an only need to find from those 2 billion people, the 10,000 people who would lose $1 with them each week or each month. Just by having the platform. No background, nothing else involved with it. Just for the mere fact of owning this, because we are now in a digital thing. One of the things that prohibited then, do you know you couldn't fund casinos using credit cards and banks? Today, and Donald Trump actually accelerated that, you now have tokens and cryptocurrencies, whatever. So you can convert your currency to any other currency and then they could fund on your platform or anything else of that sort. So now you're talking about a $1 trillion a year economy, 2 billion people, not counting the lottery part, just the iGaming part.
All right, and then you got to wrap up. I got other calls. I got to get to.
I'm saying, you're just saying to Behemoth, to me, and to others I could help to enter this business, that we should be locked out for another 25 years. When you want to, you keep proximity gaming and let the rest of us have gambling.
Thank you so much, C. Allen. C. Allen, you always bring great points to the table. And I'm hearing you. I'm not disregarding what you're saying, right? I just also want to really focus on how quickly we can make a Bahamian operator seem as they're a criminal while you have foreigners doing the same thing in the country, right? I agree. I wanted the national lottery, personally. I thought we should have a national lottery, right? But this, again, is why we see the crime and we see the big drug busting, the gun running. There's an economy that people are being locked out of, and they're only allowing certain people to actually make real money in this country. Let's run back to the phone lines and we'll take some texts. Call you live.
Hey, Uncle Sarah.
Yes, Grammy boy, we see.
Right away, man. See, I see Alice, but boys take too long.
Yeah, I trying. I trying.
No matter how he got to learn how to come back and stuff.
Yeah.
No matter how much we tell him, he still go on so long.
Yeah,
Let me show him how short this could be.
Go ahead, man.
Grammy boy. Take you back to its inception. When we was doing our independence and stuff like that, it was put to the border in England. But the British told Celine and them, we cannot allow you to put this in here to do, foreigners do what Bahamians can't do. So that's the start of it. Then those came back to the country and they did a policy act. A policy act, a local policy act that is discriminatory. It discriminates against Bahamians versus foreigners.
Yes,
that's the bottom line.
That's the bottom line.
Now, here's the challenge. You know why we never got through that, Uncle? Because, Grammy Boy is putting any lawyer worth their salt out there today, because we have to stop this nonsense. Grammy Boy is putting himself up to go in that casino with a lawyer and gamble, and then we can see where it go from there.
That's what it can come. That's what it can come to.
Fall away.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
And we'll follow me.
Yeah, man.
We just need to challenge it.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Thank you. Thanks for taking Grammy Boycott.
Yeah, my brother. And again, I mean, this ain't even really about gambling for me, This is about I can do something that actually foreigners could do in my country. And then when the people who facilitate us in doing it were doing it before the government say you could do it, you looking at them as criminals? Come on, man. Y'all get real. This texter says, Uncle, cognitive dissonance occurs when a person's beliefs conflict with their actions or behavior. Your definition, which says it's when someone holds a belief that isn't created for you. Texter, cognitive dissonance is the mental discomfort people experience when holding conflicting beliefs, values, or attitudes, or when their actions contradict their beliefs. So it's an either or. It's not only based on behavior. You could actually have cognitive dissonance without actually playing out on it, right? It's a mental discomfort, all right? Same texter says, do you really think it's a good idea for locals to be mixing and mingling with our tourists, who is our bread and butter? Locals who tend to fight and get drunk. See, this is the same stereotypical nonsense that has us in the position that we're in today. Because I'm a Bahamian and I want to go in. We in the casino, We in the casino mixing and mingling with the tourists anyway. So we only can mix and mingle with them and we serving them. We going to dinner in the same hotels, walking through the casino to get to the restaurant to actually go eat and drink. But we can't gamble. Huh? Come on, man. That's craziness. That's craziness. All right. Let me get a lot of texts. Thank you, my brother. You on point. Yeah, Tori. Yeah, man. The argument you are actually making is if we can make money from it, then allow it. That's not what I'm saying. Or our issue is like a prostitute. We have no standard. We accept all comers, no matter how repulsive, no matter what harm, right? No matter what harm they inflict elsewhere. As long as the money is good, any rational thinking person would say that's not where we want to be. It's not where we want to be. Well, any rational person would understand that that's not what I'm saying. You see, because we already gambling. That's the part I'm saying. The people who want to talk about this being such a immoral act, playing bingo and raffling cars, which is a form of gambling. You understand? Playing that when the carnival come here, they playing over and under, which is gambling. So we got an issue with us actually being able to do the same thing that the tourists are allowed to do. That's the issue I have. All right, let's run back to the phone lines. Then we'll take some more texts. Go ahead, Carly. You're live here on Guardian Radio today.
Appreciate you. How you doing?
Yeah, my brother.
Wait a minute. Now, don't say you can't gamble.
I didn't say you can't gamble.
You go pull on that. Just be prepared to suffer the consequences.
Yeah, but hold on. Let's deal with that point first. Let's deal with that point first, right? You had a group of people who dealt with the consequences, and now they holding licenses that you can't hold today.
I was just about to jump on that right now.
Yeah, but so be careful how you say that because at the end of the day, those people were rewarded for breaking the law.
I got you. Second thing, right, about the 25-year gambling strings what they want to put on the government, right? They just want to monopolize it so that the business itself will become oversaturated.
Right.
Once they monopolize it for 25 years, right? Let me ask you a question. If you have a box of pizza, right, for example, right, and you have 12 slices, right, why would you want to give someone share your box of pizza when you could give whoever you want to give it to?
Yeah.
That is, right? What happens is you can actually get a license under one of the number houses, a sub-license under their company. Whereas that they actually dish out the piece of pizza to whoever they want to, opposed to sharing the whole box.
Yeah. Well, I look at it and understand it as it's like diamonds. They'll tell you that diamonds are a rare stone, which is not a rare stone. But because the people who actually control the diamond industry hoard the diamonds, that raises the value of the diamond. So if you create this moratorium or continue this moratorium and there are less or fewer people able to actually run this type of business, it makes the business more valuable.
Yep.
You understand?
Iron sharpen iron.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks for the call, brother. All right. Let's just jump to a text, some more text. I really appreciate y'all taking the time to text. Why are you calling grown, legitimate businessmen numbers boys? I didn't make that term up, texter. I made that term, yeah. It's people like you and others of the same mindset that make people believe that they are less than other business people. You actually ain't listening to the show, Dexter. I think you just scrolling. Because I actually have great respect for who they call in numbers boys. You understand? Because they created an economy for themselves in a system that was not built for them. So in my estimates, these are some of my heroes. Now, some of y'all are the same people in slavery who would have been saying slavery is legal. Why are you trying to run away from the plantation? You should stay and serve massa. Just because it's legal don't mean it right. Just because it's illegal don't mean it wrong. Let's just use some common sense. And listen to the show, please. All right, this next text says, good afternoon. Plenty of people here are either duplicitous or living in the closet. The same religious minds who are against gambling regularly hold raffles and follow pastors who molest little children. Ah, Lord, truth is true. And no, I am not okay with foreigners having more rights than I do. If I can't gamble in my own country, no one should be able to. Amen, Texas. That's all I'm saying, you know. Shut it down for everybody. Or open it up for everybody. And if the casinos are good enough for the tourists, it's good enough for me. Amen. Let's go back to the phone lines here on Guardian Radio today. Caller, you're live.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. I was trying to understand the premise for your show today. Are you saying that we have a problem against the boss?
Let me repeat what I said because I think you may have missed it, right? When Sabas is seemingly now, he's going to be a candidate for the PLP, right? I started to have conversations with people, some who were happy about it, and others who was like, no, well, he used to be a criminal and he shouldn't be allowed to be in politics because that sends a bad message to the children and to the society at large. And I said, whoa, slow down. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we really talking about here? Was he really a criminal, or is there something wrong with the system that we are having in this country, where you could have casinos being run by God knows who, not Bahamians in this country. But when Bahamians want to do the same thing, all of a sudden they're criminals. You understand? Like, there's something wrong. And then when they went ahead and they regulated it, there was more of a duplicitous frame of thinking. And so far as the people who play numbers didn't want the numbers to be regulated because the payout changed. They didn't vote no because they was against gambling. They wanted it to remain illegal so they could get more money. Money on any number. Right now, you can't do that. You can't put $100 on one number no more. You can't do. So people weren't even voting no for the reason why we're hearing in the media that we have some type of moral high ground, right? The same people whose vote. Same people who was playing in the web shop was voting no. So my context of the show is this duplicitous mind. That's really what I'm talking about.
Okay. So I have two questions or two statements.
Sure.
For me, my statement is, we know that right now, as it relates to the law, if you are a gaming operator, you cannot have a cabinet position.
That's in the law, you say?
Are the government going to change that to allow a gaming person to sit in the cabinet, or it's going to remain the same so we'll know how much power the number bosses really have over the government?
Mm-hmm.
And number two is, my problem from the day one was, why give 7 or 8 number boys monopoly over a whole operation when all of us as Bahamian could have been benefiting?
From a national lottery,
I have nothing against just the number boys, but why was the government so fixated on just giving 8 number boys rather than the whole country? Because just like how we voted against it, and they still go ahead and voted against the national lottery, they could have gone ahead and implement the national lottery. So the whole country could have benefited rather than just 7 or 8 number men.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's our position.
Yeah. I was open for a national lottery personally.
But they could do it just like how they go on and change the vote that we voted. So they could do the same thing with the national lottery.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I appreciate the call. And so this was a complex discussion that we're having, right? There's a lot going on with regard to, what Bahamian people actually wanted versus what's actually happening, right? Just based on the comment you just made, though, caller, in the Bahamas, an individual who owns a gaming license or has a financial interest in a gaming operation is legally prohibited from holding a cabinet position. The restriction established under the Gaming Act is intended to prevent conflicts of interest and also extends to the spouses and family members of ministers, right? As far as the changes are concerned, they say despite calls in recent years to amend the law as of July 2025, Prime Minister Philip Davis has confirmed that his administration has no plans to do so. He stated that allowing cabinet ministers to have interest in gaming license is not on the table for him. So that's what's being said right now, caller. Let's run back to the phone lines here on Guardian Radio today. Caller, you're live.
I'm good.
On cool.
Good afternoon.
How you doing?
Like you said, I don't know so bad. I only see him on the television and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know why we just catching up, trying to come on to the up top now to gain the wealth and stuff?
Mm.
We were so far to enter the barrel. Like every time when a Bahamian try to do something and grow big, people always row.
Yeah.
I mean, people always gather up to try to mash them back down.
My Lord.
Stay down.
My Lord.
And we have people come in this country, build big gambling houses and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a problem. But the same folks that working in these big institutes, they take their money and they go to the churches them and they pay out that same money, the tithes.
Yep.
But we still argue, don't let them go. Don't let them, this money is no good. This money can't go. I mean, it makes it look so shameful and bad. But yes, still, this same money that they goes to these people for privately to help them build churches and do other things.
You see what I'm saying? You hit the nail on there, caller. We got to run to the news right now, but we're gonna continue this conversation after the break. We just got duplicitous perception, mentality, whatever you want to call it. We got to look at this way of thinking. That's what I'm talking about today. On 96.9 Guardian Radio, fresh news, smart talk all day on Guardian Radio today. I'm your host, Dr. Cleveland W. Eneas III, also known as Kahun Anku Sarah. We run to the break. Back after this.
You try to rest, roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers. For window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it, just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
This October, Bahama invites you to indulge your senses at the Culinary and Arts Festival, where world-class flavors meet breathtaking creativity in the heart of the Bahamas. Join us October 22nd through 26th for an unforgettable celebration featuring culinary legends Marcus Samuelson, Dario Cicchini, Simeon Hall Jr., and Scott Dyke, a vibrant lineup of chefs and mixologists. Explore captivating art installations, interactive workshops, and live performances, all set against the stunning backdrop of Nassau's premier luxury resort. From curated tasting events to beachfront feasts and immersive gallery experiences, this is more than a festival. It's a feast for the soul. Tickets and packages are going fast. Visit Bahamar.com to reserve your spot at the Culinary and Arts Festival at Bahamar, where taste and talent take center stage. This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM.
And we're back here on Guardian Radio today with your host, Dr. Cleveland W. Eneas III, also known as Kahun Anku Sarah. Here on 96.9 Guardian Radio, we're talking about our duplicitous mindset that we in this country seem to have. One symptom of it, but it's much deeper than that. There's a lot we could touch on with regard to the numbers industry and how things have manifested from it being an illegal industry to now being regulated and being legalized. This texter says, "Good day. Curious why that person took offense over the Number Boys." I said the Number Boys when reference to Bay Street Boys and Sunshine Boys have been around a long time. I agree with you, texter. This next texter says, listen, if you're going to write 3 paragraphs, just call in, man. You know what I mean? I can't read all this. Let me just try to read some of it. Thinking persons have no issue with Sabas or any other gaming house operator running for office. The issue is that he and they are advocating for Bahamians to be locked out of ownership like they had for 25 more years, considering they already had 10 years of exclusivity. Okay, so that's the issue. The gaming men have chosen to lock all Bahamians out of their international gaming opportunities so they can have exclusivity to the Bahamian market. All right, Dexter, I hear you. I feel you. Let's see here. A person who owns a number house by law cannot become a cabinet. Okay, I got you. So that person can't call the shots. All right. This next text, we're going to run to the phone lines. Let's see here. I know your subject is different, but how does... let's see. All right, I can jump on that. So let me see if I can find some time in the show to talk about that, Tori. All right. Let's jump to the phone lines and see what our callers have to say here on Guardian Radio today. Caller, you're live.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm great, man. Thanks for calling.
Hey, man. There's just a couple of things quick things I want to say.
Sure.
You know, I hear this. I hear this morality conversation sometimes about the numbers games and how it should be illegal because it's not right, and it annoys me because it's like people are trying to legislate morality.
Yes.
As though, you know, it's like as a Christian, I'm a Christian, right?
Yes.
And yeah, I might not agree with gambling, but you see. As Christians, we say that Jesus Christ took us out of the law, right? We're no longer under the law, we're under grace. Because you can't use law to make people better people. But now you want to use the law to try and make people better people, which is the exact same thing Christ saved us from. Right? It's the same law, you know. Take the grace that Christ gave you and put it back into a law to make other people. Like if people, whether or not people, you tell people not to do it, that won't make people better. The aim is not good behavior, it's a good heart. So you know, you can't legislate morality. And the next thing I would say is, on this matter of, it's not just the numbers thing in the Bahamas. It's even trying to get a taxi license in the Bahamas. You can't even get that. It's just weird how if there's not it's not really an open market for some things.
For a lot of things.
Some people.
Yeah.
For a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there's a bigger picture that we need to look at. That
thank you.
We need to make it a more open market for an open playing field. Bahamas is not an open playing field.
Yeah.
It's a playground where some people own the ball, and if they want to go home with the ball, you don't get to play ball anymore.
That's right. They break ball on the court. Thank you so much, caller. Yeah, man. You know, you mentioned some religious things there that we'll have another show on. You know, the Messiah didn't come to change the law. In fact, he came to fulfill the law, but that's a whole nother show. But I do agree with your caller. You know, you cannot necessarily legislate morality. This is not a theocracy. Scripture also says, let he who was unrighteous stay unrighteous. Let he who was righteous remain righteous in the book of Revelation, chapter 22. So this idea that you can legislate morality, I don't understand it. Let's run back to the phone lines here on Guardian Radio today.
I'm just going to make this one very short.
Sure.
Yeah, it's really amazing how we could be complicit as well as duplicitous in this town. You know, one of the callers of Texas mentioned that how is it, and I'll paraphrase it, that they would want Bahamians to mix with the tourists in the casino.
Right.
That is something that has held us back as a people for a long time. In other words, the implication that I get from it is that we cannot behave ourselves intelligently and logically among our guests when, if you look at casinos around the world, the same thing is happening where the locals and the people from other countries are mixing together in the casino. And, you know, you have nefarious things, or things that happen in the casino that from the locals.
Right.
But they're not banned from going into their casinos.
Right.
It's just that there's rules in there, and once you don't abide by the rules, then you're ousted.
It's simple.
So we need to get out of that mindset that we as Bahamians don't know how to behave in an environment where our guests are entertaining themselves by gambling.
Right.
That's one thing. And the last thing, talk about campaign finance reform and freedom of information, which are two of the biggest things that the Bahamian people have been asking to be legislated and passed.
Right.
But yet we still don't have them. We don't know who's contributing to our elections.
Right.
We don't know who's contributing in terms of getting contracts and stuff.
Right.
And that is something, again, the Bahamian people have been asking for, but yet government upon government has refused to pass it and pass it efficiently where we can have the information that we really desire to know who is paying off people or who's buying into these political parties for political favors.
Yeah.
So all these things, no government is really going to be taken serious until they do the things that the people really desire and the things that the people really want. But thanks for taking my call. I'll continue to listen.
Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, we try and have a real conversation, and I appreciate those of you who understand that, right? The idea that, you know, the last caller and the caller before made some great points, right? We have a society where people are allowed to make money if they are close with the political hegemony in this society, right? If you can get a contract, if you can have a policy written in your favor, you do well. And it happens even to foreigners in this country, right? Where you see foreigners living better than Bahamians in this country, right? But if we're serious about being on this, you know, morality tip, right? In Dubai, they have right? Or they have a hotel that shares the name Atlantis, right? They call it the counterpart to the one here in the Bahamas. But gambling is illegal in Dubai, so there ain't no casino in that Atlantis, right? As a country with a legal system heavily influenced by Islamic law, all forms of gambling are forbidden in the UAE. This prohibition extends to both physical venues, like casinos, and online gaming. Running on with you. Tourist destination versus gaming hub. The Atlantis resorts in Dubai are designed as family-friendly, ultra-luxury resorts and entertainment destinations, focusing on attractions like the Aquaventure water park, marine habitats, and high-end dining, rather than gambling. Finish. That's what they doing. Not us in the Bahamas, though. We uber Christian with our big casinos. All right, while we saying it wrong. All right, let's go back to the phone lines here on Guardian Radio today. Caller, you're live.
Yeah, good afternoon, Uncle. How you doing, sir?
I'm great, man. Good to hear your voice.
And good afternoon, Bahamas. You know, before I make my point, what do you mean, Uncle? Because I've been hearing this for years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can't wrap my head around it where it makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, you know, you could assist me because you made the point earlier. What do you mean that we cannot legislate morality? What do you mean by that?
But
I never could understand.
From the concept of so they have what's called Sharia law. Are you familiar with that in Islam? Where you can be punished if you're not seen to be within the guidelines of Islamic religion, right? If you do some research on Sharia law, right? and what a theocracy is. That's I'm speaking from that standpoint, right? Where you have at the head of your nation a religious figure versus a political figure. And the laws of the religion become the laws of the land.
Right. Because I believe that you could legislate morality in terms of writing things that make common sense. Like, for example, we have right now that abortion is illegal, so to speak. For me, that lands on the ground of morality, to me.
But let me ask you this. And we've had a recent case where I think something like this happened, where a young girl, I don't know what the, extent of the relationship was, but she was pregnant, and the young girl's family took her to a doctor to have an abortion, and then the case was dismissed or what have you, right? Do you think that a young child, or anybody, any woman, don't just say a young woman, right? Do you think she should be made to have the baby versus having an abortion?
I've been asked this question as a child advocate. I've been asked this question on numerous occasions, right?
Right.
And my position still remains the same. Mm-hmm. If it were someone close to me and if I could control it, they're going to bring that baby,
So, I ain't going to fight you. Go ahead.
Father, if I am able to.
Or a husband. Father. Don't just look at it as a father. I'd say if your wife was raped, and she can have the rapist baby.
Mm-hmm.
You see, where's the morality in that?
No, but I'm saying that you mean it's a step to bring forth.
Yeah, see, your wife gets raped, she gets pregnant. Now we trying to figure out what's moral. What's moral about making her have this child?
What's moral about it?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say what's moral about it.
But that's what we're talking about.
Matter or not, she can't have the child, and then if it's a financial strain or what have you.
But many people outside of the financial strain, right? The emotional.
I'm saying this though.
Yeah.
You have a lot of married people who've been trying for decades to make a child and can't.
That, you know what? And guess what? God, for whatever reason, because if people like to throw God in it, right? God ain't letting them have no child, right? But God let the rapist who didn't want the child and who didn't even want to have sex, who didn't even want the fornicator, the rapist. See, so when we start throwing God into the mix, right? And when we say abortion is illegal, just because abortion is illegal doesn't make that a moral law.
Right. But we're doing nonsense when you talk about abortions being illegal because it makes no sense in the Bahamas. For me, why I say it, because if a pregnant woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
If a pregnant woman, I don't want to stray away from your topic.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
But if a pregnant woman were to be murdered, irrespective of how advanced is or was in her pregnancy, be it a month, be it 8 months, be it 9 months, and that child's life is interrupted. According to our law, that unborn child's life doesn't count.
The life does not count, you saying?
Does not count.
Okay.
In that instance.
Right.
But if someone is caught committing an abortion like that doctor, you could be hauled before the court and charged with murder. Or whatever the charge they put upon you, but it just makes
so that's again that. So you ain't taking me off the topic. You making the exact point I'm making today. This way of thinking about things in our country, in our society. You see?
Now, I quite want you to Google something.
Go ahead.
Since you're talking on this this web shop stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I don't like to talk about it because the minute you start to talk about it, Bahamians start saying, "Oh, you're jealous," or you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it creates no sense, because I believe the monies could be directed and spent because we vote against the lottery. We vote against. But Perry Christie decide that it's an opinion poll and he's out. But my thing is, there's something in the casino that is called RTP.
Say it again.
R as in rules.
Uh-huh.
T as in template.
Mm-hmm.
and P as in people.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
It's called RTP, meaning return to players. Whatever money is you put into this machine, a pure percentage of it is returned to the players. I think it's 85 or 90% of it.
Okay, I'm looking it up.
What percentage of our own is when you play these things? We don't know that. You see what I'm saying? We don't know. It could be 5%. It could be 2%. It could be 1% in terms of your chances of winning. We don't know this.
Right.
But now that, and all of these things were not factored in when we were deciding. So they no guarantee that you're going to win. That your winning percentage may be high as 95% in the Bahamas, maybe as low as 5%. We don't know this.
Right.
Because you could fix the machine, but they have the machine set up in a way where a big chunk of it, those who in the casino business, is returned to the players.
Right.
Gives them a greater chance of winning. But we don't do it in the Bahamas. Now, in respect to this, right, it's a catch-22 for Sabah. I don't know whether he was aware of it. I don't know who was pushing it, but the bottom line is it's not a good thing now with him wanting to run for particular office, for high office. Because the average Bahamian who voted against this, voted against or voted for the national lottery and we didn't get it, they're highly upset now and they are voters. They are voters.
So you think that could hurt him?
Want to be perceived to be saying, look, we don't want you in this particular industry. But for us, we could go in any industry which we want. We can sell cars, we could do construction, we can do whatever we want to do. So you see the disjointedness in this thing?
I hear you.
They can venture into any other business.
Once you have capital, you could do what you want to do. That's the whole thing, just to get that upfront capital.
Yeah, but if you have upfront capital, you can't get into the web shop business.
No, I agree with you on that. What I'm saying is, I agree with. I mean, for them. I mean, once they have,
for them. Once you have capital, you could do whatever you want to do, irrespective of who you met in this particular business.
Right.
You could overpower them.
So
and do what you want.
One last thing before you go. So you would have been okay with a national lottery, is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's where we should have gone, but they lied to us and said it's infeasible and we don't have enough population.
Yeah.
The population isn't big enough. But look, right now, Anku, we need a new hospital.
Yeah. My Lord.
Right now, we need we need cafeterias in these, I don't understand this breakfast concept, but we need cafeterias on all school campuses. We need this.
Yeah.
We need classroom space. We need so much other things, but what Perry Christie did, after he would have said that it was only an opinion poll, he created this new industry. He realized he came back to us a year later and implement VAT on us because we didn't have sufficient money. I mean, it was so crazy, the WAP. Now, in respect to this thing, I know you're not talking about John Canoe.
Yeah.
Right? But the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, Anku, he really needs to find something constructive. He has a lot of free time on his hands. It seems that way.
I want to touch on that so bad, yeah.
I mean, he could do so much things.
Why he pick and fight with John Canoe?
He pick and fight all over the place trying to win an argument,
Yeah.
and end up losing the vote. How silly could you be?
My Lord.
Politicians, salespeople, we're not there to win no argument. We're there to win the vote or close the sale.
Yeah.
People ain't going to vote for you if they're angry with you.
That's real.
They ain't going to purchase from you if they're upset with you.
Yeah.
But our job is to close the deal.
Yeah.
Now, he came up with this after the JCN after they decided to lean towards the world famous volleyball.
Yeah.
All hell broke loose for them because he then dig up in an archive and came up with this legislation where he said that he's going to try to make the John Canoe Corporation extinct. That didn't work too well. He held back on the seed money, said they will not get it. That didn't really pan out too well with him. Now look at where he's going now. You really believe the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture will engage an entity now in transparency, on corruption, on looking at the books? You really believe he really want to go there? Right now, we don't have a... Right now, you see various MPs, they refuse to disclose. They're not doing it on a timely basis. They're doing whatever they want to do. You really believe now, so it shows them now that they understand what fiscal prudence is all about,
Yeah. Yeah.
But obviously, they're not doing it. They're above the law. But these 5-year celebrities who comes around, I mean, once they are voted out, they are gone.
Mm-hmm.
Junkanoo will remain.
Yeah.
But it seems as if, Tudo, that these various leaders compromised Junkanoo when they decided to not put their foot down, and they took that money from the government, the then government, when they were in respect to that carnival.
Yep.
You know, because I looked at carnival. The government spent close to $30 million on Junkanoo Carnival. And all that was uncool. It was designed for them to enjoy the carnal lust of the flesh. That's how
That's another show, man. I with you, Cliff. I with you. I can't get into that today, but I appreciate the call, and that'll take me down another road. But I hear you, and we can do a show on that. All right, I probably gonna have to do it next week. This text says, for National Lottery as a person who works in the lottery business, sir, National Lottery will not work. So saying this because we used to sell the USA Lottery with jackpot in the billions, and only a small percentage of Bahamians buy it. Bahamian gamblers love spinning and 3 and 4 balls. You know that we I don't know if there's been a study on it. You say you work in the industry, so I respect your opinion. But I'm wondering if we've ever really done a study on just what you're saying, because it I think it would make for a good study. Let's run back to the phone lines here on Guardian Radio today. Caller, you are live.
Good afternoon, Uncle.
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, I'm for one and many others calling on for the National Lottery.
Yeah. And
one of the reasons is me and many others, because I used to spend myself, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But understand what I'm saying now.
Mm-hmm.
They're from good source. And I'm going to say it because I believe it.
Mm-hmm.
The spinning game is not a straight game.
It's not a what game?
It's not a straight game.
Okay.
How are you going to hold a gambling game in the Bahamas, as far as spinning is concerned, and you control whether the people win or lose?
Is that what happens? Are you saying that's what happens?
I'm telling you, you ask the 1,000 people who goes and spend, they tell you the same thing. They control that. If they want you to win, you win. If they want you to lose, you.
Okay.
I'm going on that, but that's a fact.
Okay. This is why I say we need a study on it. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's the way it is, man. Okay, let me put this up on here. Let's say, for instance, like if they give you a win for like $500, right?
Mm-hmm.
They will take that back eventually.
Well, yeah, they know your habits. They study your habits.
What I'm saying is they will take that back from you. You're not going to go back there a week, 2 weeks after, and 3 weeks after, and win another $500. So the game is fixed.
Well, okay, the house always wins. That's a well-known saying in that industry. The house always wins.
The house always wins. But my last point is that they control the spinning, the win. If they want you to win, you win. If they control, if they want you to lose, you lose. So that's not a fair game.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't think it's just the numbers industry. I think the big casinos do the same thing. They don't leave it to chance. They have a percentage of people that they know will win, and they have a percentage of people that they know will lose, and so the house never loses. That's the industry.
I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
No, I get what you're saying. You're saying they rigging the game. They figuring out they can let win who they want to win. I hear you.
Okay, you got it then. Okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, my brother. Let's run to this next call. Caller, you live here on Guardian Radio today. Caller going once. All right, next call. How you doing, man?
Yeah, Uncle, sorry for calling back.
No worries.
I'm supposed to catch Cleveland Duncombe from this morning. You know,
Go ahead.
Uncle, in this country, I sometimes I am so appalled at the way Bahamians say things and do things, and they know. If they don't know nothing about it, they say things what they really don't know nothing about. You know, and Cleveland's a very intelligent young man. I kind of thought I knew his political persuasion one time ago. I don't know what it is now.
Yeah.
But Cleveland don't know what the hell he's talking about when it comes to the minister. And you got to be honest with things. Yeah, the minister may be lousy, I don't carry no brief for him or no water for him. Right. But what they got to do is first start off and find out where this Junkanoo thing come from. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to be honest. This came
where it come from?
With what's her name, Bethel? With the lady.
Nicolette Battle. When she did the study on the amount of money.
And Pentad in 1996.
Yeah.
This bill was put together. Mm-hmm. You understand me? I think one of us, Eddie, or one of them was involved as well. Mm-hmm. Now, for whatever reason, they shoved the bill. That's their reason. Mm-hmm. But the bill came back up because the JCMP leadership, not the groups, gone astray. See, they didn't want to say it. Them fellas
but the JCN leadership is made up of the groups.
It's certain members of the groups.
Okay,
but
then.
It still is a private leader management company.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that. It is private. And somebody go on there and make it, you might as well say, rogue. I want to say who I think it is, but I ain't going to say it. And you, when you call the show, you got to be honest, man.
Anyway, you get Cleaver. You get him because I won't touch on too much of that today. You get Cleaver back, all right? Cleaver may call you back too, right? But let's run to the next call here.
Yeah, blessed uncle.
Yeah, 52.
Yeah, I really wanted to call in after the person who said they worked in the gaming industry said that a national law won't work, right?
Well,
I will boldly state that I disagree with him wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
And, you being intuitively intelligent, you will do a study, right?
Yeah.
Here's what the facts are. I don't have to be a gaming expert because I can just induce some common sense into this thing there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you had heard me on the radio before, months ago, and as early as last year, talking about the win-loss ratio, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, I have an ILAC account.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say the amount, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the things they asked was, do you agree for them to monitor your account? And I hadn't filled that in. And they would have never given me that account if I didn't sign that. So I actually didn't know what that means. But the gentleman who called it up with the sin in the winning, right?
Mm.
Watch this, my brother. The free spins is given to you when you want it. When you press spin, if you press, you have the option to press stop. And there's a time in the game which you cannot press stop. So when you spin, it spins. But then you see stop. Mm-hmm. I mean, you press spin again to stop it when you want to try inadvertently just win without them. You know what I mean? Like just stop at the game and stop the game from spinning to try to win just suddenly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you will never get free spins like that. You will get the free spins when the algorithm says that you get a free spin.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't have to agree wholeheartedly with them as they determine when you win. They mightn't have it fixed to look like that, but they determine the amount you win when you win.
Mm-hmm.
And now, the reason why I asked the question about the win-loss ratio, a family member of mine just so happens to be affiliated and travel a lot. And he has a rich friend in Canada that has a lot of properties and money and things. And they have these systems where they work with the casinos.
Mm.
And in Canada, my brother told me this, and I could call the white guy to get him to call. It's a 30 to 70 win-loss ratio. So that means 30% goes to the house. So what I'm saying is here, we don't have the win-loss ratio. Let me give you a quick example of manipulation. I have nothing against no one.
Mm.
They had a game called Crack the Code. You listening?
Yeah, listening.
Now, the Florida Lottery has how many numbers? 6 digits, right? The Florida Lottery has 6 digits.
6? Okay, with you.
So then they go up to millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it roll over, some states, because they're big enough, you see 1.something billion or whatever, close to 2 billion, maybe the most.
Mm.
So then what happens, that's a 6-digit number, but they crack the code over 7 digits in order to win $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you, after a while, nobody wins, they give you a number, and then the prize is about 25,000. What I'm saying. So if you cannot see the manipulation, see if you grab your brains and stomp it and throw it on the ground, because it makes no sense to me. You understand what I'm saying? So you professional, we had professionals during the pandemic telling untruths, Uncle. Then you mentioned the challenge study. You didn't say I was familiar with the challenge study and knew exactly what it meant.
Mm-hmm.
It meant that you could have really found out the efficacy of the vaccine by the challenge study, by exposing people to COVID-19 and see their immunological response.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So life don't base on what professionals say all the time. Sometimes you have to induce common sense, because otherwise you're living in a dictatorship.
Right.
Whereby you just shut up as a sheep and wait. That's what it is. That's what I see it. So let's fix that one, man. Sebastian could do better than that, man. Respect.
Thank you, my brother. We got to run to a break here on Guardian Radio today. We talking duplicitous mindsets, whether it's gaming, whether it's the church, whether it's abortion, whatever it is. You know, we discussing this mindset that we have in this country today. We're going to run to the break and be back right after this.
Don't wait for a storm to arrive. Stock up on hurricane supplies, make home repairs, purchase a generator, and more this hurricane season with a Fidelity personal loan. Make that move today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
This October, Bahama invites you to indulge your senses at the Culinary and Arts Festival, where world-class flavors meet breathtaking creativity in the heart of the Bahamas. Join us October 22nd through 26th for an unforgettable celebration featuring culinary legends Daniel Boulud, Marcus Samuelson, Dario Cicchini, and Simeon Hall Jr., alongside a vibrant lineup of Bahamian chefs and mixologists. Explore captivating art installations, interactive workshops, and live performances, all set against the stunning backdrop of Nassau's premier luxury resort. And don't miss an electrifying live performance by global superstar Lenny Kravitz, headlining the festival's welcome party on Friday, October 24th, with a concert experience you won't forget. This is more than a fest for the soul. Tickets and packages are going fast. Visit bahamar.com to reserve your spot at the Culinary and Arts Festival at Bahamar, where taste and talent take center stage. Bahamar, life spectacular.
This October, let's come together for hope, support, and strength.
It's the Sister Breast Cancer Support Group Dollar Day, happening Friday, October 17th from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on the grounds of the Nassau Guardian, Carter Street, Oaksville.
And the best part? With just $1, you can help make a difference in the fight against breast cancer. Every dollar counts towards awareness, education, and support for women battling this disease.
Come on out, drop $1 and stand with us for a cause that touches so many lives.
Join us on Friday, October 17th from 7 to 10 a.m. and let's turn every dollar into hope.
That's the Sister Breast Cancer Dollar Day, proudly sponsored by the Guardian Media Group, Star 106.5, and the Guardian Radio 96.9. This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And we're back here on Guardian Radio today. Your host, Dr. Cleveland W. Eneas III, also known as Kahun Anku Sarah. A duplicitous mindset is a pattern of thinking characterized by double-dealing, deceit, and two-faced behavior. A person with this mindset presents one persona or set of intentions to others while secretly acting on different, often self-serving motives. The word duplicitous comes from the Latin word meaning twofold or double. This mentality is manipulative and lacks integrity, as it relies on a deliberate separation between what is said and what is done. Do we have duplicitous mindset in this country collectively? This text says you don't need a study. We were talking about doing a study on, I guess, the lottery, right? The national lottery. You don't need a study. Cleaver told you that we have no rules that guarantee a certain amount of, that's true. RTP stands for Return to Player, representing the percentage of all wagered money a slot machine is programmed to pay back to players over time. Big casinos have a guarantee of a percentage of payout for all games. So in international and large casinos, 90% is return. Our gaming boys may be keeping 90%. My question, Texter, is how do we know? How do we know that these international casinos are actually returning 90%? They say they do, but are we looking at their books? Do we really know? Or are we just believing what they put on paper? Just a question. Let's run back to the phone lines here on Guardian Radio today. Caller, you live on Guardian Radio today.
Good afternoon, Uncle.
Good afternoon.
Poppy, and good afternoon to your listeners all over the universe.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you could read that definition of duplicitous mindset again when you get a chance.
I will.
Duplicitous mindset, you say?
Duplicitous mindset. You want to read it right now?
Yeah, that's the Prime Minister. Read it now. Don't worry what I say. Prime Minister, his action right now.
Okay.
My Prime Minister, brave.
Let's read it.
Read it.
a duplicitous mindset is a pattern of thinking characterized by double dealing, deceit, and two-faced behavior. A person with this mindset presents one persona or set of intentions to others while secretly acting on different, often self-serving motives. The word duplicitous comes from a Latin word meaning twofold or double. This mentality is manipulative and lacks integrity as it relies on a deliberate separation between
deliberately exception.
Between what is said and what is done. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the most respect, that's the action of my prime minister right now.
You feel so?
Yeah.
Wow.
And many leaders
Why you feel like?
Too. Not just him in the party, but he's the leader. He's the one who right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the only thing missing from that definition is being a stranger to the truth or using the truth when you want to, when it's affected to you.
But Papa, give me an example of the prime minister being duplicitous.
Stumbling over his words continuously, and that's what we know him for. We don't have a problem about it. But this time around, as the prime minister, different from just being a decent human being, he is stumbling over his words, doing this, what I'm saying, and then coming back the next day or the next second and saying he didn't say that.
Well, I've seen that.
Personal?
I've seen that.
Him coming, telling us certain things, like we stupid, for instance. This ain't the only example, but it's the latest one. He's saying he gives the money to the public, saying from the goodness of his heart. When they do, I paraphrase and I dumbing it down the way I know what to say it, brother. All right? They had a study to bring the public servant up to a certain standard because they ain't getting treated right. And when they financially pay, and when they do get it, they still could be under in many different ways to compare the private sector in different sectors or different parts of the world. Right. You understand what I'm saying? So when he say he giving the money from the goodness of his heart, on the street we say that's a lie, but on his talk show we gotta say it this way: that a stranger to the or he just pump faking. He ain't mean what he saying.
Could he have meant, Papa? Could he have meant? Listen, I'm asking. Could he have meant, well, he didn't go into any negotiations with the actual unions. He made a unilateral decision. Okay, listen, man, they need the money. WAP. That's what he meant.
Be a flop, but you remember I told you about the study just now?
Right. You're saying he should be clear and say.
Oh God, thank you, Lord, sorry for calling your name away.
Yeah.
Brother, the man don't be clear. And I don't think it's a mistake. He's doing it intentionally. How long y'all can keep thinking Brave Davis making these mistakes and then Madam President, another saying, but the people around him ain't listening to him. I mean, I used to know Brave Davis, because I might know him like some of y'all. Man, I think that's intentionally. I think Brave Davis okay with what them people doing. He'd come out here and tell us one thing or tell the union, y'all can get this, y'all can get that. And then behind the closed door, when they go, and this is just my opinion, I believe like he really ain't checking for them. Like he really ain't checking for what us Bahamian people. This man is killing like, this new man, Prime Minister Davis, seems like he really don't like Bahamians. You understand? And I think he needs to be clear on what he's saying because he can't fool me. I don't know how much people he's fooling. Right. I believe when he say one thing out here to us when they go inside, he okay with the people around him. That's why the time people around him, he ain't listening to him and doing badness. And he ain't doing nothing about it brave about that. This is a new man who we dealing with. When you use the word duplicitous, I think about Dwight Strachan saying he'll bet us, right? He didn't say if it's a haughty party or what, but he'll bet us. Do we agree or disagree that knowing that the web shop owners, them coming in, and we have a law saying that they can't get in cabinet and stuff like that, that law could change. I call that duplicitous. I don't know if I
you believe it can change? You believe?
When we voted no, even the gamblers, they say they was gonna sell us shares. Did they ever do it? Now these Negroes, them coming back, they coming back telling us, but they want 25 more years.
25.
25 more years? I say no to that. I say a national lottery. I ain't buying that, but it wouldn't work. Yeah, let's try it. Let's see if it don't work.
I agree.
Man. We could benefit more, man. We might could build more hospitals around the Family Islands and bridges to these different keys and different things, man. We just making one set of people rich, man. Come on, 8 set of people. Why should we let a bastard? Okay, He could be a member of parliament if the people want him, right? Why they should change the law cabinet when they have a monopoly on the web shop owners only, with 8 of them making all these millions of dollars?
But the Prime Minister say,
go sit down and make some other people rich too. Give us a pass the bank so he can stop carrying on with this, because I think he's just another show off. That's all.
So you think,
brother. Sorry for the loss.
Yeah, my brother. So the thing is this, right? The Prime Minister, Philip Brave Davis, said that the salary increases for public servants came from his heart, not as a result of union negotiations. All right, his comments were made to a crowd of public service workers gathered near Rawson Square on October 8th, 2025, after this protest demanding long overdue payouts. Right, so that's where that came from, right? They also said, I read it early in the show, that they don't have any plans of changing that law. So if Sabas wins, he, I guess, would just stay an MP. He would not be a cabinet minister. That's what the law say. We got to wait and see. If it changed, then it may have been duplicitous. Let's run back to the phone lines here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Let's have your say, caller. Go ahead.
Yeah, what's going on, Uncle?
Hey,
yeah, I say the name right this time.
You did.
Okay, all right.
Respect.
You right on. You did your research. You right on cue today.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you and Jeff. Yeah, we could be in La Pond with them. We could be in Passage with them.
Come on,
we could be on the hotel bar cocktailing with them and get drunk, but we can't gamble with them.
That don't make sense.
Like you say, we could walk all through. We go Blue Lagoon with them. We could be in the Sea Park with them.
Right.
Everything. We could rent
drinking
a
with
hotel with them, but we can't gamble with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. We go by Boutique Hut and all them and everything with them.
Yeah.
But and then you right too. It was $900. It was paying off $900 to $1.
Thank you.
And then when they legally, it gone to $700. It gone down to $750 online.
Yes.
Now the lotto. Now I was a 3 and 4 ball man. I play that every day.
You win sometimes. You win a lot.
Well, hold on. Sunday, my carrier number is 430.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it. That come in Cali for the year.
Yeah.
What I do, I put $20 on my account and just run 430 and 20 or 20 quick draw. Straight for $1.
Wow.
Yeah, and I catch it in the quick draw in the Cali 430 and Cali Sunday.
Okay.
All right. So, now, but I don't spend no one. But the lotto, who will run this lotto? We know government.
But don't we have a gaming board? That wouldn't that come under the gaming board? Wouldn't the gaming board?
That's government. We didn't have money missing from every post office on this old island.
Someone got to run it.
We didn't have money missing in road traffic.
Yeah.
Government ain't too good on running things. And then
they will run John Canuto.
Yeah. The government so could be running this big money. A lot of could be big money coming in.
Yeah.
So like even the winnings for the lotto is from the people who play in the lotto together. Like in the States, I see the lotto was $160 billion the other day, and then no one win it. Then it's gone up to $170 billion.
My Lord.
Then my chances of winning that is 1 in 10 trillion of winning the lotto. So, I mean, the lotto could run this, and like we say, we only got 400,000. So, I mean, if they keep the 2, it don't matter to me, but I could be a 3 and 4 man. Now, let me say this too.
Yeah.
About stopping it with everyone with Christy. In their technology, I could be home in Bamboo Down, I could just go right over by Porky on find any kiosk and put money on my account.
Yeah.
I could put anywhere. So they wouldn't even need no more brick and mortar.
Yeah.
Stay underground, they even need no more. We'll find some way to get our money on our account like that.
We know that.
You know that. And then if you win, they try and come now. You buy
Come on. They can't stop it.
Okay, so they wouldn't concept. Just get that. All these people who don't Christy do this and Christy do that. Just like cocaine. People can find a way to get their cocaine and they weed and prostitution. You can't, when there's a man for something, you can't stop it.
Right.
Okay, all right. Talking about morals and all that and everything like that. But, yeah, I disagree with the 25 years memorial, and I like my boy Papa say, they say they can go sell shares. They should open up and start selling shares to the Bahamian people, man.
Yeah.
Let Bahamian people start getting a little piece of that.
Yeah, man.
But like, just like the taxi industry do, man, the plates and things like that, it might be 8 now, and if you get to open it up to, like, to say 100 or 150, man, that could kill the industry, man. So you have to have a limit. Now, it might love to be 8 of them seeing me. Oh, another thing, too, what I'll say, too. The gentleman would say he thought the lotto would have been for everybody. Right now, there's 8 people, too. It's for everybody, too, because they had to pay $250,000 to get their license. They paid $30,000 for each, $15,000 when they pay rent. So the government said this money is going to consolidated fund. So if the money going to consolidated fund, that go around to everybody, then that paying the teachers, paying the police, paying everyone.
Yeah.
So don't say these 8 million going around to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they say the money going in the black hole. Now, what happened after the black hole, I don't know. Anyway, great show, boy. Keep it up.
Yeah,
I tell God that today, they move you up, but then, hey, boy, you have a solid show, boy.
Give
you have
thanks.
a solid. Keep it up, man. Keep up the good way.
Yeah, respect, brother.
All right.
Yeah, I was looking up that consolidated fund the other day. Not in the Constitution. Only way you can change that is by referendum. Let's run to the phone lines here on Guardian Radio today. Call you live.
Hey, good day, good day.
Good day, man.
Yeah, with the national lotto, right?
Yeah.
When one person win a lotto, you realize that's a whole family, and plus some friends and close friends that he help out.
Yeah.
And guess what? That's millions you win, right?
Yeah.
How much millionaires you make off numbers, except Sebastian?
That's a good question. That's a
None.
good. Yeah. You say none. No millionaires. No millionaires.
None.
Yeah,
check out that big thing. What do you call the big bang?
Yeah.
When get people up there making a fool of themselves, but they go for 50,000. When you look 25 for the person make a fool of 725 for the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened to 50,000 of one clown supposed to make? Who will go up there and make a clown himself?
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah.
The national lotto will make millionaires, and guess what? Turn this country around because one person win a lotto, his household straight, and close family members straight, and maybe one or two friends straight. You understand?
Yeah.
When you win a number, you win a couple $1,000. That's it. But guess what? You spend almost $50,000.
Yeah.
That make any sense?
No.
And the boss could do the exact same thing. What Peter Dangler do, and the Agler did. The Agler made sure you got to have a washer's license to bring in these commercial washers. And airplane pass is free under Peter Dangler. You understand? And don't forget Brent Simner. Brent Simner went back into Parliament to finish, do some stuff what he did not have a chance to do. And when he finished it, he politely rest the bus on top of Minister. When he said, Minister call him when he's in Mexico or some other country and say, he said, man, the conflict engine say, Minister, don't worry, but I can fix it when we get House Assembly. He politely rest the bus on top of Minister.
A whole bus.
And that he said that himself on the talk show. And after he finished fixing what he had to fix, he politely bow out of politics. You got to understand these things, but the boss ain't going up for himself and no love for no country. The man making over $3 million a month off rent off government alone.
So
every 3 months.
So you think he have an ulterior motive for sure?
Man, hell yeah, man.
Wow.
But you can't see the writing on the wall. The writing on the wall so crystal clear.
Yeah.
That Stevie wanted them to see it.
Thank
Him
you,
and
my
Ray
brother.
Charles can see the writing. But.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate the call. Yeah, I mean, the variations and the opinions, and I've been hearing that type of talk as well. I have no reason to believe that Sabas can go in there and, destroy the country. I don't feel that way. Now, if he does, there'll be consequences to pay. But let's run back to the phone lines here on Guardian Radio today. Call you live. Call you live. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, good day. They do all.
Yes, sir.
Yes, why do people believe that by offering shares to Bahamians that it empowers Bahamians? When you make something private that should be public, right? When the Bahamian people, when it's public, the Bahamian people own it. They already got shares in it. So when you privatize and offer them shares, how many people do get? Very many Bahamians get, acquire shares in it. And what kind of shares? And with this thing with Sabas, right? Man, Sabas them should have had. He want the same type of casino he want. He didn't want to roll no dice. You understand me? But he should have had the opportunity to get any kind of casino he want, but the national lottery should be for the people. You understand me? And the thing with moratorium, that's foolishness. You see, just like any other business, you know what I mean? It should be open, and tell me something. John McCartney and Lionel Carey, the leaders.
I remember that, yeah.
So tell me something. Why was there a need for them? Why did they? When were they formed?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
That was after the PI became the bar, right? You know that, right? So that they formed because of the corruption.
Well, the F&M formed because of the
Davis was the PLP, and the problem we have in the Bahamas is that we don't have an alternative party you're telling the government to vote for. All of our governments are the same with the same policies.
The Vanguard Nationalist and Socialist Party was a minor political party in the Bahamas, active primarily in the 1970s and 80s.
That's after the PLP came to power.
Yeah.
Right? So, and they couldn't compete with the PLP because the PLP had that money and they had just taken over from the UBP.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me? And you understand me? You know the Vanguard was a nationalist party.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The PLP was supposed to be a nationalist party. Right? But the Vanguard, the difference was the Vanguard was a socialist party. And that's the alternative from all the parties we have today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the CEO, all of the same. So until we have get an alternative party to vote for, nothing will never change in the Bahamas, you know. All of our parties, you know, we're still a colony. We hate to talk about neocolonialism. We hate to talk about neoliberalism. We hate to talk about these words that the people need to educate themselves about to know who we are. We are a colonized nation.
Yeah, my brother, I appreciate it. And we could talk about it on this show. We ain't scared to talk about it. I was trying to get that last call, but we are out of time, flat out of time. I do apologize if I didn't get to you today. I appreciate all the texters. I had some texters asking me about some other topics. Yeah, we can get to them topics. Couldn't get to it today. But please continue to listen to 96.9. Of course, Guardian Radio today is now 2 to 4. Yeah, someone was asking if I've been given the 2 to 4 slot. I haven't been given the slot, but I do have 2 days, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 2 to 4. And my good friend Garth Roseborough is on Monday, Thursday, and Friday, as far as I understand. That could change, but I'm not sure. All right, but I know Garth is on for several days as well. I do appreciate you all chiming in today. I'll be with you again next week, by the will of the Most High. And